Leila Campbell was born here in Charleston, South Carolina. She was born at the time of segregation. Her and her family lived on 54 Martin Street in downtown Charleston, which was very hard for her and her family when Martin Street was all white, except for them. By the time Leila was a teenager, she attended Avery. Her father was the principal of Avery. Avery was the first African-American school here in Charleston, South Carolina. Leila went to all sacred schools her entire life. After developing a lot of knowledge, she became an oral historian taken after her father. Segregation was a hard time for African Americans, but it wasn't a time to cry another way. It was a time to fight and stage for the racial hate crimes and the judgments of non-believers.
My name is Leila Campbell, and I was born here in Charleston, South Carolina. Growing up here in Charleston was a rather interesting experience as I look back and also remember my experiences, and that is that Montague Street was all white except for us. My father was principal of the Avery School, and along with that came this home that we lived on 54 Montague Street, which we purchased before we left here and knew we were going to leave here. And nobody ever spoke to us when we were out. When we came out, they went in. It was one of the first schools for blacks in all of the United States. And in the early days, all of the teachers were white because they had to come from up north. And the school had to house them. So they all lived in a teacherage, which is right next door. My father was a historian. I was always wanted to know why. And so I guess I've done maybe about 60 or 70 interviews here in Charleston. I know to go back and tell you, well, the whys, or how is it that I know? Because that's what I have to ask when I'm interviewing. You always want to know why. Well, how come? And then that's when you find out about the person's parents and how they think about things. What have been their experiences? What is their motivation? What made them want to do that in the first place? And that's important. That's very important in understanding